Well, hello, my friends, and happy Sunday to you. I had a lot of fun. I say that every week, but I love what I do. But I enjoyed this piece. It was very peaceful and calming, and I just positively loved it. And it's kind of a by the time you see this video, I'll have a new workshop coming out, and it's kind of along the same lines as the new workshop. So anyway, I just was kind of in that mode, and I was really enjoying the water and all that kind of stuff. So by the time you see this, the new workshop will be coming out. It'll either be out or will be coming out shortly, and it's called Peace on the Water. And I don't know if you can see, so it's a lot of water. And so anyway, it's a real simple, peaceful, like smaller workshop. So it was so much fun to create. But that's kind of my inspiration behind this, along with the saying, find your true north. So let's take a look at the project and the supplies. So here's our cutie patootie. It just feels peaceful. It just really does. And I'll talk more about the quote and the meaning at the end of the video. So this is a 12 by 12 MDF board, and simple, really honestly simple supplies, not a ton, lots and lots. So all the papers in the background were just scraps left on my table, left over really actually from the workshop. But I did a really good job of layering lightly so that those show through, and they show through really well all over the place. And then for my lighthouse, I enlarged it. And so I stenciled out, and the two stencils that I used today will be on sale, but I stenciled out just like this, and you can see the size difference. And then I just took it to my printer, and ooh, I got paint on, I better be careful. I just took it to my printer and enlarged it. And I've done this a lot of times when the size of my stencil doesn't really, like, I want it bigger, or maybe I want it smaller. Just take it to your copier, your copy printer, or even like if you don't have a printer, you could stencil it out, take this to like I don't know if there's Kinko stores anymore. I'm old. Your local place, and they can reduce it or enlarge it for you, and it works. And I love it. And I love using my stencils because I don't have to think about it. There's nothing I had to think about. I just filled in the space. And I love that because it makes creating fun, easy, quick. And that's what I'm about. So papers for the background. I put everything down with my Liquitex Fluid Matte Medium. And then paints that I used were the Pebeo Matte Pub in a gray. It doesn't really say the colors on here, or they're covered up. Gray and like a raw umber and a beige or Titan buff. I wish I could see the ivory. There it is. Ivory, raw umber. I'm so good. And warm gray. So and I like using these because they have such a really nice matte finish. And then I've got two new colors of Nova Color that I'm just kind of in love with right now. So you'll probably see a lot of these for the next little bit. But this is Mars Violet. Oh, you guys, that's that color. You want to talk about deep, rich, so good. And then Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray is a funny color to get a good one. And Golden has always had a really great Payne's Gray because it has a really good blue undertone. This is amazing. Then I used Soho's Olive Green and Yellow Ochre for my grasses and my kind of sunlight. Everything is pretty straightforward and simple. Gesso for my white. I have some matte black, Blick matte black. I did use a brayer because once I got everything down and I had put some soft pastel in the background, I wanted to come back over and stencil over it. And so I brayered with some matte medium over the top to set it. You could use a fixative, but I didn't want to take it outside. I just wanted to keep going, so I put some matte medium down here and brayered, and that works really great to set your soft pastels. And then I used pencil. I used a Stabilo All pencil. I did not use that one. I used a white soft pastel pencil and a medium hard and extra soft charcoal pencil, because I traced with the hard so I could get some fine defined lines, medium in certain areas, and then soft so I could get some really good blendability. Soft pastels in my colors, in all the colors. Some greens. This green was not the great green. I didn't use that one. Browns, black, yellow from my sunlight, where this is representing my sunlight. All my colors here. I used some Payne's gray, black, greens, and browns. So I used the kind of raw umberish color. I used my scraper for my initial layers, and then I used my palette knife to get my texture. And I love doing texture this way because it just really shows off that background. Same kind of down here too. And I used my palette knife in my water. Real informal and just kind of free. And that's it. Not a whole lot of supplies, but just a really peaceful time of just creating, because it was easy. And when it's easy like that, it's just your quiet time in your studio, and sometimes that's just what we need, to not have a challenge or maybe learn anything new or anything like that, but to just be. And that's we're headed into July, and that's what this workshop that I have coming out is all about, just kind of being peaceful. And that's also going to be in the membership, and the membership will actually have a bonus project. Yeah, Peace on the Water is the new workshop, and that is what happened right here, peace. So that's all the supplies. I'll talk to you. And again, the stencils will be on sale for you. The link to the supplies is down below in the YouTube description box. And I think that's it. So I'll see you at the end of the video, and we'll talk about the Find Your True North and the inspiration. All right, let's get creating. loves, that was such a peaceful project. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so good for my soul. And it was perfect for the meaning and where I was at and what I was processing through. And so I just loved it. So let's take a look real quick. So I wanted this to be soft. I wanted it to be simple. I wanted it to be soothing, because that's kind of what I was needing. That's kind of where I was at in this process of navigating some things and finding my true north. And I just love it has all my favorite things, all the papers, all the layers, and I did the layers well enough that the papers still show through, and yet I still have grunge. And so I just love it. It's very soothing. It was very soothing to create. So as I was thinking about Find Your True North, actually I was thinking about, before Find Your True North, I wanted to kind of do some ocean type of project. One, because I've been doing that for this new workshop that's coming out, which, by the way, it's called Peace on the Water, and it should be out by the time you see this, and I'll have a link to it. And it's a really fun, peaceful, easy workshop. But I'd been doing that, and I had a lot of time to just kind of be quiet and kind of think through some things that are, going on within me. And as I was thinking about today's project, I was thinking I'd really like to kind of carry that over, because I've just enjoyed the peacefulness. And water to me is always a place of rest. And I think with summertime and things, the world shifting and changing back and forth and all different kinds of things, I think we're all in a place where it's like we're kind of maybe taking some deep breaths and relaxing a little bit and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I needed for this week. I need a lot of rest. I need a vacation. But and plus we had just been able to get away and see my family, which I don't get to see very often. And so there's this whole thing about rest and, finding my way through rest. And I talk about it a lot. You guys, if you've been around at all, you know my struggle with working too hard. But so I've been mentally working on relaxing and trying to just ease up just a little bit. But as I was preparing for this, I came across my Find Your True North stencil, and I was like, that's a good one. That's good. That would be so appropriate for how I was feeling, what I was, as I was thinking about what I wanted to say today. And so, of course, I looked up Find Your True North and what it means. And so it says, to find or proceed on the correct course or in the right direction. A reference to finding the position of the North Pole, or being able to find a recognizable station by compass, or by locating a star, and to navigate properly. And I thought, to navigate properly. And every time I look up a definition of something, I'm always like, oh, that's so good, because it fits with, what I'm thinking through. But as I was thinking about finding my true north right now in the season, and I think it goes by season, I really do. We're not all in the same space, place, time. We have different lives, and maybe you have kids, maybe you don't, maybe you have grandkids, whatever. We're all in different seasons, and like life-wise, and we're all in different seasons emotionally too. And I think that ebbs and flows. And like spring, I feel excited, and summertime, I kind of feel a little bit calm. Like I want that kind of rest, and it's warm, and I want to garden, and all those kinds of things. And winter's kind of like a cocooning time for me, all those different kinds of seasons. But right now, I am resting and taking time to kind of take inventory. And I don't rest well, but taking inventory I'm really good at. But I'm trying to allow myself some space for ease and not push quite so hard. And there's a season where we have to do those kinds of things, and then there's hopefully a season that we don't. And sometimes we have to make that decision to rest and, carve out space for ease, carve out space for self-evaluation. Because it's in that quiet, it's in that self-reflection that we find our true north. And when I think about that definition, there's one constant north. It's always the same. It's always up on a map. It's always up on your compass. There's the stars are in the same spot. There's always something that stays the same. And as I was thinking about that, I'm like, what stays the same for me? And how do I use that to grow? What is it that I want to stay the same? What is it that I want to be consistent in my life? And how I use that to help me grow, to help me navigate business, to help me navigate relationships, to help me navigate all different kinds of things. What's that true north for me? What is that one thing that kind of almost defines every decision that I make? And I think for the most, and sometimes it's shifted and changed over the years, and it hasn't always been the same, but underlying, really honestly, as I was evaluating this month, is this underlying grace for myself, grace for others. And I'm much better at giving grace to others than to myself. But I work on it, and that's a place that I work. But it's a constant thing, so that as I'm doing everything else, how do I take that true north, that grace part, and allow it to help me navigate what I do, what I say, how I react, how I treat business, how I treat staff. I mean, on and on and on. And I thought I would ask you that question for yourself. What is your true north? What is that underlying thing that helps you make decisions? And if you don't know that, and knowing ourselves is one of the longest, hardest journeys, and I don't think it ever ends. I think we continually have to reevaluate. We have to self-reflect, and it's really, really important in all areas of our life, including art, because most of my talks, we can talk about a lot of things, but there's that underlying grace factor that I talk about, grace for ourselves, grace for others, that kind of thing. That's kind of a baseline for me, and then it goes from there. But it also reflects in my work. And so, what is your true north? And if you don't know, how about you get quiet in this summer season? For us, it's in the United States, it's summer. In this summer season, but maybe you could make your own summer season wherever you live, of slowdown and reflection and growth, and find your true north, the thing that helps you, that helps guide you. And of course, grace, and that's also tied to my faith too. And everybody's got their own beliefs and all that kind of stuff. But for me, that grace and that faith is part of the guiding thing that helps me find my direction, that keeps me steady, that, all of those kinds of things. And so as I looked back at this, I said to find or proceed in the correct course or the right direction. And I'm not always going in the right direction. I take my eyes off of what is important, and we're all human. That's just how it is. But when I can come back to grace, when I can come back to that thing that is my true north, I can correct my course. And I can continue on making better decisions in business, or creating better art, or loving my people better, or taking risk and doing a good job at work. Whatever it is, that underlying, find your true north. What is that thing for you that guides you? Maybe it's a word. Maybe it's a letter from a loved one. Maybe it's right now your kids. For me, that was why I got up in the morning. Some seasons was my kids. Whatever it is, but there's always that one intimate thing for you that helps guide you in all of the things that you do. And I hope that you know what your true north is, and that in this time of maybe slow down, I don't know, you can reflect on it and readjust and rest in it and practice it, because in the chaotic times when it's not calm, it's hard to follow. It's hard to find the compass. It's hard to find our direction. And so with all of that, that's kind of where I'm at. That's what I've been kind of going through, thinking about, journaling. Take time to rest and reflect. It's very, very important. I'm saying it to myself. Time to rest and reflect. That will help us, guide us, give us direction, and find our true north. And I hope that for you as well. All right, my loves, that's all I have for you this Sunday. I hope you enjoyed the project. And I hope that you know that you are so amazing just how you are. And I hope you know that you are so, so very loved. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday.